Hi guys, I hope you guys are all well today. I hope you had an amazing week. I hope you're having an amazing day. So today's video is quite impromptu. It's actually testimony time. So I'm going to be sharing a testimony with you, and hopefully this testimony might encourage someone out there. It started off in February, so I worked in a law firm in Bolton, but I didn't really like the travelling. Obviously loved my department and everyone else in there and the other departments, but I just didn't like the travelling because there was always like delays. I'll get home very late and I was just, tired. So in February, I decided to start looking for a job in Manchester city centre. So I put my CV out there. And straight away, I was called by quite a lot of recruiters and like law firms. And some of the law firms were, which is really weird because I actually specifically put like city centre, as in Manchester. Like I don't want to go anywhere else. And I was called by firms that were in London, in Liverpool, or even things that not in my area, because I deal with clinical negligence, and they were asking me to do like road traffic or like probates and stuff, so I was completely confused. And I was like, oh no, I really want to do clinic, so if you got a place in clinic department, I would love to, come and join or have an interview for it. So I think between February and April, I went to two interviews. I had two interviews. They were both unsuccessful. So in the third week of in April, third week of April, I was off that week. And on a Monday, this law firm called me. And they were like, hi. And I was like, oh, hello. And they were like, yes, we've seen your CV and we're really interested. We would like to see you. And we would like to, see whether we've got this amazing position for you. And we feel like you probably are a good candidate for it. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So when do you want me to come? And it was like, well, as soon as possible. And they were like, I was like, okay, yeah, so do you want me to come today? And they were like, no, like tomorrow. And I was like, okay, what time tomorrow? They said, oh, 10 a.m. I was like, yeah, 10 a.m. is great. And then I was like, okay, you send me the address. So I found out where the firm was. And I was like, oh my days, this firm is like 10 minutes away. And we always go past it because my dad used to, well, not anymore, obviously. He used to like drop me off at the train station and then I would, get on the train to Bolton. So we've gone past this firm like a couple of times and I've been like, oh, okay, that's an interesting firm, but I never thought of, applying to it. So I went for my interview on the Tuesday and they've got like a visitor book as well. Visitor book. And there was quite a long list, and like so I could see what happened on Monday and what happened the week before, and I could see that there was roughly like 12 people that went before me, and I was like, oh wow, okay, so I'm probably against 12 people, even more. So I had my interview. I felt that the interview went well. The person I spoke to was very excited and he seemed really nice. And then he said, do you know, like we have 12 people, but we're going to only pick two at the moment, and then those two people will have another interview, but they would meet like, the bosses. So I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, yeah. And so he went out and then he came back and then he said, Priscilla, like we want to give you one place, but we want you to come for another interview. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. So when do you want me to come in? And they were like, oh yeah, Friday. So I was like, yay. So it was he told me it was between me and this other girl. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good. So, obviously, because I've been praying to God about, whilst I was looking for a job, that He would find me a job close by. And I also spoke to him about the salary matters. And I just said I wanted to be in an amazing place with amazing people, without, having any, feeling like, oh God, yeah, I am, at work, I am getting paid, but I'm not really enjoying myself. So I talked to God about it. I was like, God, I know you got me. And he was like, yes, I got you, darling. So then I went to the interview. Well, the interview actually didn't happen on the Friday because they sent me an email and they had to reschedule it. So then it happened on a Monday instead. So I went to the interview on Monday. and I met the bosses, and they seemed really nice. I met two people. I was interviewed by two people, and it was quite informal. They also did like questions, and they were asking me things about what I would do, and they gave me like scenarios. And you know, at the end they said, "Oh my days, she answered it all correctly," and I was like, "Yay, thank you God," kind of. So then I asked them like, when would I hear back from them, and they said, "Oh, we'll either tell you today or tomorrow." So I didn't get a phone call on that day, and the following day I didn't get a phone call. So I think it was on the Wednesday. And Wednesday I got called, and they said, "Well, Priscilla, unfortunately, you didn't get the job. We have given it to someone else." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'll be honest, I was so sad. I was quite upset. I was like, "Oh my days, this was just so perfect. Like, this was just perfect. Everything was amazing. Like, the people that I met, they were amazing. Like, the work, you know, the salary is good. Everything is good. And, like, the hours is amazing because I can do my own personal stuff, you know, because they've got, like, different times that you can go in." And I said, "Okay, I would be able to do, you know, things for myself. I can, you know, read a book or, like, read the Bible or, like, you know, do my own kind of stuff when I get home, and I'll get home on time." So I was so excited at first, but then when he told me that, I felt a bit crushed, and I was quite upset. So I asked them, like, well, what I did is I asked them. I didn't ask them, because he said, "Well, it was actually quite a difficult decision between you and whoever her name was," because I don't know her name. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So he said, "Well, we couldn't decide. So what we did is, because she's got 6 months more experience than you, so I've got 3 years experience, so she must have had like 3.5, or maybe 3.5, 3.5 years experience." So I was like, "Okay, that's fine. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it, and thank you for your call." So then I ended the call. Well, said bye. So I went home, told my parents about it, and then they were like, "Oh, it's fine, you know, God has probably something better for you out there." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." So I went home, and then I prayed to God again, and I said to God, you know, like, at the end of the day, yeah, your will be done. You know what is perfect for me. You know what will be good for me, because you wouldn't want me to go somewhere that I would probably not enjoy. So I left it to there, and then I just moved on, still looking for a job, and still being called from firms in London and Liverpool, and I'm like, "No, that's not what I want. I don't want to travel that far," or "No, that's not the area of law that I want to do." So I think weeks went past, and every single time when my dad would mention the job, and I was like, "I'll leave it," and then he won't even, you know, talk about it. But then on a Friday, I think it was the third week of no, actually, first week of May it was. First week of May, I think it was, yeah. It was on a Friday, and we drove past the law firm, and my dad was like, "I really have this strong feeling that these people will call you back." And I just looked at my dad like, "Really, Dad? It's been 3 weeks. The girl is probably, you know, working. The girl probably has met like lots of friends, you know, like, no, they're not going to call me. Let's just leave it. Like, God has something better for me somewhere." And he was like, "Okay, cool." So on that Friday, there was a number that was kept on ringing me. And I looked at it and I was like, "Well, I'm at work. I'm not going to pick up. I'll call the person." Well, because I thought it was just maybe the bank, or, you know, PPI and all those things. So I just left it. And so after work, I called the number, but I saw an email first, and which said the name of the law firm that I basically had the interview. They said, "Oh, please call us at this number." So I called them, and then they said, "Hi, Priscilla." I said, "Oh, hello." And then he was like, "Oh, yeah, we were just wondering whether you're still looking for a job." And I said, "Yes, I am." And he goes, "Oh, that's good news then." And I was like, "How is that good news that I'm still looking for a job?" But obviously I didn't say that. And he said, "Well, because we've got a place for you." And I was like, "Oh, that's amazing. That's good news." And then he was like, "No, as in it's the same, you know, it's the same job." And I was like, "The same job as in, like, what happened to," well, I don't know her name, but "what happened to that girl that you know, offered a job?" She goes, and then he goes, "Well, she didn't sign the contract because she wasn't happy with the hours, and it was too far away from her for her as well." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he was like, "I know you'll probably want to think about it, so I'll give you, you know, because it was on Friday, you can call me back on Monday, and then either accept it or, you know, decline it." And I was like, okay, that's fine. But then I ended the call and I was like, yes, yes, yes. And I was so excited. So then I called my dad straight away and I told him, and my dad was like, yeah, I told you, see, I told you, I knew it. And I was like, okay, Dad, but I need to call them back. I didn't even wait for like Monday. I called them straight back and then I said, yes, I accept this offer and I would love to like work and I would love to start whenever. So yeah, I started 2 weeks ago, and one thing I could say, it's been amazing. I enjoy it, I enjoy it. The colleagues are amazing. Everything about the firm is amazing. There's lots of opportunities as well. And even this week, because I work on my own, and majority of my colleagues, they work in London because they've got two firms. They've got two firms, actually. They've got two branches. No, they've actually got more than two branches. They've got one in Manchester, one in New York, two in London, one in Bromley and one in London. So then they sent me out to London, well, this week, and it was amazing. I got to meet, my colleagues and like people from my team and all the team members. And I got to stay in a lovely house all by myself. It was like all modern and all nice. And, all I can say about this testimony is that if something is yours, no matter what, it will be yours. It might take a while, but eventually it will be yours. It's not like you won't have to beg for it. You don't have to cry for it. It will become yours regardless. Because I gave up on it. I was like, this is what it is. Like, I didn't get this job, that's it, it's done and over with, I'm just gonna move on. But little did I know that God was just there and was like, oh, Priscilla, you don't know what I've got planned for you, you don't know what's around the corner. So when that happened, I was just like, oh wow, this is amazing. So this is just a testimony to share to anyone that's praying for, either whether it's like a job or something else that you're looking for, that if it's yours and if it's good for you, no matter what, you will get it. It might take a while, or it might happen on a time that you don't expect at all. And I just want to say, God works in mysterious ways, and He's working at the moment for whatever you're asking Him to do. But He will only obviously gift you something that will be good for you. He would obviously give you something that wouldn't be good for you. So this is just a testimony to encourage you to keep on praying about it, and to tell you that God has listened to your prayers and He will surely answer. So I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I hope you guys have fun. So take care and God bless. Bye bye. Bye.